Hey everybody, and happy Video Monday. Teshia here. For this week's video, I want to talk to you guys all about grains. And the reason for that is there's a lot of dietary dogma going on about grains right now. And while not all of it might be dogma, it's getting kind of confusing for people, I think, and I want to try, if I can, to just clarify a few things for you today or help shine some light on grains that isn't completely dogma-based pseudoscience. So, the thing with grains is there are gluten-free grains and there are grains that contain gluten. If you are gluten sensitive or you have a gluten intolerance, which a lot of people have these days, of course, staying away from gluten is absolutely essential. Even if you don't have an intolerance, you might be sensitive. In my opinion, it's likely a lot of people are. So do the work to figure out, either get allergy tests or really just notice how your body is responding when you eat gluten-containing foods. If you feel you might be gluten sensitive, stay away from gluten. It's really important because if you are allergic to it and you keep consuming it, you're going to create a constant state of inflammation in your body. So that's the first thing about grains. Now, if you're not gluten intolerant, there are a number of gluten-free grains out there that are pretty healthy, like quinoa and buckwheat and millet, which are actually seed-like grains, so they're not even total grains. There's also oats that are often some gluten-free certified nowadays. So there are those options. Now the thing to note about this is that sometimes other grains are contaminated with gluten in trace amounts. So if you're really sensitive, you will likely feel the best being on a grain-free diet. Okay, so it doesn't mean you have to be, but there's a chance of cross-contamination with other grains. So you might want to just stay on the safe side and go on a grain-free diet. Grains are not, in my opinion, essential to every diet. You can be healthy and thrive with a variety of foods in your diet and be grain-free. Okay, so I want to say that. In my opinion, I don't think you have to eat grains to be healthy. That said, I think you can incorporate some grains to your tolerance and do well. So when I say tolerance, what I mean is grains do break down into sugar, as all carbohydrates do. Grains are a little bit more concentrated in that they break down into more sugar. So if you are sensitive to sugar, if you have blood sugar sensitivities, if you have an adrenal condition, a thyroid condition, if you have PCOS, hormone imbalance of some kind, then your blood sugars might be more sensitive. And so it's not that you can't eat grains, but you might feel better with just a small amount of those in your diet every day as opposed to eating them, for example, at every meal. The next thing I want to say about grains is that not all grains, again, are equal. So aside from the gluten thing, I'm not talking about refined grains here. I'm not talking about Cheerios or Ritz crackers. There's not really a place, in my opinion, for those in anybody's diet if they really want to thrive. You can survive eating those foods. You won't die, but you won't feel your best. So I'm not talking about refined grains. Again, I'm talking about whole food grains in this video. So if you decide you want to eat or include some grains in your diet, then other thing that you can do that's amazing is prepare them properly. So you can soak your grains first and then cook them. So there's lots of information online about soaking and sprouting grains, nuts, seeds. And what this does is it reduces the amount of phytic acid in those foods. So the paleo community, I'm sure you've heard about this, is very anti-grains and legumes because of the phytic acid levels. But if you find really good quality grains and you sprout them, you soak them, I don't think it's a huge problem. Again, you don't want to eat them all day long or anything, but having a little bit every day I think is okay, especially if they're properly prepared. So if you love quinoa, if you love rice, prepare them properly And that's definitely going to help with the whole argument that paleo is talking about. So as with everything, guys, as with every single food, you have to figure out, you have to tune in to your own body to figure out whether that food is good for you or bad for you. You hold up any food, okay? And there's at least 15 books that have been written about why you should eat that food, and another 15 books about why you absolutely shouldn't eat that food. It's enough to make everybody crazy, and in fact, I think is making people crazy. So we have to lose the dietary dogma. I'm very serious about this. We need to lose the dietary dogma, and we need to get back in touch with what works for us. The best way to do this, again, is by working with a nutritionist. If you think I'm awesome, you could hire me or someone else that you trust, and keeping a food log. What you ate, how you felt after, etc., etc. This is the only way to really, really know. There are so many variables that can, affect whether something's working for you or not. The other thing is that sometimes what's working for 10 years stops working, or what didn't work starts working. So you have to be open to trying and experimenting and observing and being just really real with yourself about, what it is that is or isn't working. It can be hard to change. For example, all my 20s, I was on a very low carbohydrate diet. I felt awesome on that diet in my 20s. When I turned 30, things changed, and I needed to increase the amount of carbohydrates in my diet. I didn't figure that out right away. It took me a bit of, trial and error and playing with the portion sizes, and oh my gosh, it wasn't a good time, really. It was tricky for me to figure out, but I've realized that I need more now than I did before, and that's just something to do with how my hormones have changed now that my body's all like baby ready, even if I'm perhaps not yet. So you have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to try something different. You know that quote that Albert Einstein says, definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting things to be different. Only your body can tell you the truth. So if you're feeling stressed out because of all the different opinions out there, stop. Just full on stop. Stop researching. Stop buying a million books. Stop. Stop watching YouTube videos. Stop. Before you go crazy, just stop. I beg of you. And just start to pay attention to your own self. Tune into your own energy and see what your body is saying to you. As always, you guys, I hope this has been helpful for you. If you have any questions, please post them below this video, or even better, visit my Facebook page, Teshia Mahar and the Home of Living Live. Join my community there, post your questions on that page, send me a message there, and you can also visit my website, www.teshiamahar.com. Feel free to send me a message there as well if you like. If this video resonated for you, if you found it helpful in some way, please click the like button below, and share with friends if you think that this could help someone else. As always, everybody, happy Video Monday. Have a fantastic week, and I hope to connect with you all soon. Okay, bye.